What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Robot Toys Working Leopard, their version of a Legend Scale Cheetor and Shadow Panther. These were sent to me by J.R. Ochoa. Thanks for letting me take a look at your copies. He actually sent a bunch of these, so we'll be looking at a few more in the future. And they're actually quite nice looking. I was impressed with the detail at this level to scale. Nice gold paint on the head crest and the face and the mask. Blue for the face, red for the eyes. Blue paint here on the shoulders, more gold paint. Nice detail on the cheetah head with the spots and the eyes. There's actually two heads. When you transform it into the cheetah mode, you can switch out the head. I guess you could have that head here, but it makes sense to have this one that's more streamlined. Blue paint here, more gold. Lots of paint on such a small figure. I'm really quite impressed. Here's the back. That also looks accurate. If you don't know, Cheetor has this legs on the back. They actually peg together. Out of box, I didn't realize that, but afterwards I realized there's a little peg to get them stuck in. So that really sits nice and tight on the back. Overall, it looks really good. Let's go over the articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It goes up to there, down to there. The ball joint is set back on the bottom of the head, so it's a little awkward the way it rotates, but it does rotate. And a little bit of side to side, not much. Shoulder to turn around on a ball joint. This sometimes comes undone, this thing, but I guess you could consider that a butterfly. There is also a butterfly forward, just due to this joint right here. So you get a butterfly joint there. Shoulder rotate around on the ball joint, out to the side on the ball joint. Rotation at the bicep. You kind of have to hold this in order to use it, because otherwise it undoes this. But you have rotation there. Let's get him adjusted back. We have a double jointed elbow, full bend. And nothing at the wrist, but you do have swap out hands, which we'll take a look at when we get to accessories. Coming down to the waist, we have a waist rotation and an ab crunch. I was very impressed. Look at that. You get a full bend all the way down. Such a small figure. And you get side to side teapot motion. So really you get everything out of that. That's a lot for our legends. Legs will kick all the way up. Just do the design. Back to here, out to the side. Everything is friction, by the way, but the tolerances are decent. I would say this one could still be a little tighter, but overall, not too bad. You have a double jointed knee. Gets you down to there. There is a knee pad that can get out of the way. You can actually have it in different locations, but it really works well, and it looks good. You have ankle tilt, both directions, forward and backward as well. And you can rotate it. Now let's take a look at Shadow Panther. I decided to start him in the beast mode, and then we'll transform this guy into robot mode and vice versa for this one. But he does have also some nice detail, red painted eyes, silver paint back here, which obviously will become the robot legs. He does have an opening mouth. This one is not painted inside, but the other one is. So I'll point that out when we get there. But it does have an opening mouth. And overall looks good. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It goes up to there. The head and neck can go down, so the head itself can rotate up and down. And then the neck is on a second ball joint, so you can go all the way down. All the way up to there. Really nice movement on that. And a rotation as well. You can look side to side, but you have to kind of lift it up off of that, and then you can look to the side. So you really get all the articulation you need. Legs rotate forward and backward, out to the side on this hinge, which is not atypical for legend scale. They typically don't have that joint outwards. Sometimes it knocks this peg out. I do find that this backpack is a little bit on the loose side compared to this one. You have a rotation here at the elbow and rotation here at the paw. Rear legs, similar, but you have a hinge here that goes forward and backward. You have a knee bend here, and then you have a toe tilt here. And there's an extra joint in there which is, you know, really for robot mode, but you can utilize it here if you want to. It just ends up looking a little awkward. But tail is on a hinge, actually 2 hinges, one here and here. So you can get it up to there. Whoops. And you have to be careful not to unpeg it from here. It's pegged into his butt. So you have to kind of push this in on the back and then get this pegged on top. It does sometimes come loose. And I've had, I would say, a little bit more issues with this one than with this one. But like, you go up to there and down all the way to there. And you can rotate it. So quite a bit of articulation in this beast mode, which we rarely get. As far as accessories, I mentioned you can swap out the head. I don't think it makes sense because this is the head for the beast mode. I just wanted to show you that. We also get his gun painted beautifully again. You got pink, gold, the cheetah print there. You do use this as the handle. I was trying to get this front piece into the handle for a long time, not realizing it was the wrong thing. You do have to swap with the hand, so I just want to show you that. You pull the hand this direction, not forward, because the tab you see right there goes into a slot there. It actually comes with a different hand. So this is the hand it comes with. It's like an open gripping hand, but I find that this can't hold the gun. So, I don't know. I guess they did it for the look. It looks more like a natural hand. I still think it's an awkward hand, so wasn't really any need for that. But they did give you a swap-on hand. You also have this swap-on hand, which I almost lost that, but this will peg in right here. I just find this one to be really awkward looking. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a hand to me. I'm not really sure what the purpose is, but this one is the one you need to grip the gun. Just looks like a gripping hand. And then you can put the handle of the cheetah gun there. Now you have to really push it in, otherwise it doesn't sit properly in there. Once you get into there, it's very secure. It's not going anywhere. I just wanted to mention, it took me a while to figure that out because I didn't realize how hard I had to push it in. But it does fit and look very nice. And that's really it for accessories. You get 2 sets of hands, the gun. We also get an alternate face. So if you pull forward on this, it's a little tricky to get the face off, to be honest. It does separate here at the top. Let's see. There we go. So you get off like that. And then we'll grab the other face and just peg that back on. All right, so there's that kind of yelling face. That looks pretty good. And for some size comparisons, there it is next to the New Age version of Optimus Prime and the Robot Toys version of Optimus Primal. And I don't have any Legends scale Beast Wars stuff. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. But we are going to review this guy before I send these back. All right, now let's get them transformed into their other modes. And we'll start with this guy here. Go ahead and take the gun and just set that aside. Actually, we can transform the gun as well. Open up the tail, slide this forward until it lands right there. And then you can rotate this around. And then leave that for a second. We'll get that plugged in to his butt a little bit later. Go ahead and unpeg the legs. Here's the peg I was talking about earlier. That tabs in right there. So you can free up that leg. Come to the front. You can unpeg these from the back, actually. And then unpeg the arms from here, from the front. So open those up. That allows us to take the head and pull forward on this entire assembly. Basically allowing it to free up from the rest. Make sure you have these arms folded flat. And then you can rotate this whole assembly all the way to the back. We got to rotate the head 180 degrees. It's a little tricky because it gets, there's limited tolerance here to actually do it. If you need some help, you can grab a spudger and get this. There we go. And then that's going to sit down in that cavity. Can rotate the waist while we're at it. For the head, you're going to extend this out. This little panel here is going to come down and meet up with this panel down here. and just kind of peg in right there, filling in the neck. Bring the head down on this joint. These arms are going to work their way in here. So we're going to fold them in, and we're going to rotate the arms so we have this double elbow, jointed elbow facing up. And then this will come down and sit right in here. All right, so same on this one. It does get a little trickier when you have both of them in here. You just got to get them fitted in there properly. And it should be looking something like this. For these arms, you're going to rotate this back and make sure this tab is clearing. Otherwise, you'll run into it. So clear that. Bring this back, and then this will tab in. There's a tab right here that's going into here. Tab that in, bring the arm down, and just put it into a position that makes sense. Something like that. Same on this side, rotate this back, and bring this one comes above here. Tab this into here, and then bring the arm down. So that's the front of the cheetah done. So open this panel right here. This is on a ball joint, so we're going to swing this up and back like this. I'll just leave that upwards for now. We're going to bring these legs out to the side, open up this little hinge right here. That's going to allow this to fit around this outside piece. Same for here. Swing open this panel and then bring this back around. And don't lock everything in yet because we need to take care of these legs. So rotate the knees 180 degrees while keeping this up here. These will rotate down, come to the bottom of the feet. We can pull out on these cheetah paws. Make something like that. Bring the back of his toe back. And you can kind of configure this however you like so it looks, more animal-like. And then say for this one, bring this down, open up the cheetah paw from here, and then fold this down on the back of the leg. And you want to kind of configure this so that you have this part straight back. And then right here is where you're going to put this tail piece. So get this lined up here. That's going to plug into the little peg there. And then these two tabs on the tail are going to go into this. So make sure that's lined up. Bring this back and peg that in. And then this should peg into the side of the legs. So bring the legs up, and when you're done, you should have these pegging in to right here. Right? And kind of adjust the legs just so it looks more natural. You can just play with it until you get a good look. All right, last step here is to swap out the head. Just pop this off the ball joint. It's a little tricky to get it off actually because it's so small. And it's a tight ball joint, but you can kind of grab, pull forward like that, and then grab the other head. All right, and there they are in their alternate modes. And again, I think they look really nice. Here's working leopard Cheetor. The alternate head definitely represents the cartoon a lot better in the Ultimate. And here's the other one. So nice that they included that. Same articulation as the other one. Really well done. Nice tolerances too. Oh, I forgot to point out there is a ab crunch on the beast mode. So if you want to do that, you can. You can also rotate here. So that's a lot of articulation for a legend scale. This really has a lot going for it. But I think it looks great. I mean, it's a really good looking Cheetor. And then here's the Shadow Panther. I love the silver. The accents really change the look of it, especially on the legs and the feet. Just because it's so shiny, it just looks different. Nice head sculpt there. Same articulation. He does have the same accessories as this guy, but I'll just show you them. Here's the gun, the tail gun. That will fit into the round hand. You do have to kind of push it in firmly. Good looking gun as well. And we do get the two sets of hands. So we get a set of the gripping square hands, and then we get a set of the open hands, which I don't really understand the purpose of this, but you have these. We get the alternate head, which I've swapped out. Again, the animation one for the alt mode, so this one looks better, sleeker on the chest. And we also get his armband. I think this was like a time watch or something. I don't know. I'm not a Beast Wars guy, but this will fit on his arm. It's very small and hard to hold, but it fits right there. I think that looks pretty cool. And I forgot to mention, he comes with one for Beast Mode, which will fit right here. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the watch on the front. So either mode, that's pretty cool. You know, I don't remember other figures having it work in both modes. We also get the alternate face for this guy, so I'll just pop off this face and pop this one on. And again, the yelling face, I think that looks really good. So overall, some nice accessories. So final recommendations on the Robot Toys Working Leopard. Pretty cool. I'm impressed. I'm not a big Beast Wars guy, so I don't appreciate some of the things, but I do appreciate the fact that they gave you alternate faces, alternate hands, the time watch thing, whatever, and it fits in both modes. The gun does what it's supposed to do, right? It transforms into his tail and works in robot mode. It does everything it's supposed to do, and at the Legend scale, I do think that's impressive. I like the swap out heads. The articulation's really good. I would say the only complaint I really have is the arms on this one, the black one, for me, are a little bit loose. Now, I talked to Matt Partsformer. He said his were the other way around. This guy was loose and this guy was tighter. So the results may vary there, but that's about it. That's the only complaint I really have, is a little bit of looseness in the butterfly joints on the arms. So if you're a Beast Wars fan and you're collecting Legends, I think these are kind of must-haves. I don't think anyone's going to do it better than this. I think this is it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to J.R. Cho for sending us a review. We'll see you next time.